In order to start taking back control of our adrenals, we need to understand the root of the morning drink that I'm about to make. So I'm going to take you through step by step on why I have these specific ingredients in this drink that you can drink 3 times a week to help your adrenals, but I want to give you a broad understanding of why I'm focused so much on sodium and potassium. You see, if you want to understand your adrenals, you have to understand minerals. It's kind of an overlooked portion of them. Most people are too busy thinking about cortisol and norepinephrine. But in reality, if we have too much sodium and not enough potassium, then we have an overstimulation of the adrenals where we're pumping out way too much of what we don't need. And on the other hand, if we have not enough sodium and too much potassium, then the adrenals have diminished function where they're not pumping out enough of what we need, which is essentially adrenal fatigue at its worst. So you're going to see I break down each individual ingredient and why it's important. The first thing that I've got is 10 ounces of coconut water. Try to get unsweetened if possible. The reason we've got coconut water is simply because it's super high in potassium. And we have to reference one study to make it a typical Thomas DeLauer video, right? So that one study found that in 2005, 2 groups of people, one group of people had coconut water, another group of people had regular water. Those that had coconut water saw a 71% decrease in their systolic blood pressure and a 29% decrease in their diastolic. Why does this matter with adrenal fatigue? Simply because when your adrenals are worn out and you have so much cortisol going all the time, generally speaking, your blood pressure is super elevated. So we do need to try to modulate that to take some of the pressure off. So that's why that's there. Okay, then the next step is I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cranberries. Crazy, right? The reason I've got the cranberries here is because they contain some really important things, particularly an antioxidant known as a proanthocyanidin. What that is a form of polyphenol that actually works in the gut lining. Why again does this matter? Who cares about the gut lining when we're talking about the adrenals? Well, the gut lining houses so much of our immune system that if we can actually help our immune system by supporting that gut lining, we can take some of the pressure again off of the adrenals. Basically, the adrenals affect cortisol, which does affect our immune system. So if we're able to help our immune system, it means more energy for our adrenals. So what I'm going to do with this is simply muddle it up. And again, I like to boil them first because if you don't boil them, then you're going to end up with a really nasty chunky drink. Muddle them up so you create kind of an unsweetened juice. And sure, you're not going to consume all the cranberries unless you really want to. So I'm adding those to the drink. Okay, next I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. Why am I using Himalayan pink salt? Well, if you've seen my videos before, you know that's because I don't like iodized salt. I don't like the demineralization process of iodized salt. I like getting nice, rich minerals. We've got 84 good minerals here, 21 of which have been proven, study after study, to have a powerful effect on the body. Why do we need sodium for our adrenals? Because when our adrenals are fatigued, they're not able to create as much aldosterone. Aldosterone is what's called a mineral corticoid. Okay, what aldosterone does is it helps regulate mineral balance within the body. That means regulating water, regulating potassium, regulating sodium. And if we don't have that regulation, things get out of whack. So when we don't have aldosterone, we end up craving salt. And a lot of times we don't even really need it. We just crave it because our aldosterone's out of whack. This essentially can cause that water retention. So if you're someone that's dealing with bloat, you might have a skewed response with aldosterone and you're taking in too much salt and your body's retaining water. So just a 1/4 teaspoon of that. Then we have cream of tartar, which is kind of a unique little thing. Cream of tartar is also known as potassium hydrogen tartrate, and it's simply a byproduct of winemaking. But the reason that I have a 1/4 teaspoon of this stuff here is again because it's crazy high in potassium. 16,500 milligrams of potassium per 100 grams. So we're not getting that much in there, but between the coconut water and the cream of tartar, we've got a nice potassium-rich little drink here. Now, again, this is something you're not going to do all the time. We're talking 3-4 times a week, so you don't want to overdo it on the potassium. Then the secret weapon, maca, all right? The cool thing about maca is it's an adaptogenic root. Now, what that essentially means is that we are able to control the hormones where they are needed the most. For example, an adaptogenic herb or an adaptogenic root is going to help increase a hormone that you are deficient in, and it's going to help decrease a hormone that you have too much in. So all I did is I added a 1/2 teaspoon to this drink. Basically what that's going to do, it's going to help our hypothalamus and our pituitary to regulate what the adrenals need to modulate the most. So by working with the epicenter of what's really going to control the rest of our hormones, it can really help us balance out and find that homeostasis. All right, so now we've got all the ingredients combined. Just gonna mix that sucker up, and I will be honest with you, it is a nasty looking drink, and unless you want to add some stevia to it, it doesn't taste all that amazing either. You don't have to consume the chunks of the cranberries. You're getting the juice and you're getting the polyphenols that are extracted once you muddle it a little bit. If you choose to actually chew up the cranberries, you totally can. They're good for your kidneys. You're gonna get a benefit there too, but it does add some carbohydrates to the mix. So you're gonna do this 3 or 4 times a week until you start feeling like you don't have a low slump of energy in the morning. You start feeling like you're getting your energy back and it's sustaining throughout the day. I also recommend kicking the coffee habit while you're doing this. Here we go. Not the best, but it'll do the job. See you guys in the next video.